Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Daisy Lolly, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this cosplay. Owari no Seraph cosplay from Shinao cosplay from Owari no Seraph, and also some documentation of the Nerdwork Comic Con. So I'll see you guys later. So today I'm not going to be using a voiceover. I'm not going to be using any voiceover for my cosplay tutorial because I feel that it would be better to explain it on camera. Please ignore my cortex. So before I start with anything, I would want to say thank you to Nerdwork for the wonderful opportunity they gave to me to be, it's a huge honor to be invited as a guest for the Comic Con that happened on the 9th of September. And also thank you to the girl that gave me this Boku no Pico bracelet. Like, it was so weird, like the girl caught me off guard when she sent where she gave me this stuff. And to the guy that gave me this stuff too, thank you very much. So now let's get into the video. Now, okay, sorry, my ring lights. This weapon, I'm going to explain how I made it at the end of the video, but before I go into anything, let me just start with the clothes. As you guys know, I always make my costume by myself, and I decided to go as a group with my friends. This is the picture that we took before we traveled for the event. And the reason why I picked Owari no Seraph, because one, Owari no Seraph has to be one of my second best vampire anime, and I felt that it's underrated, and I wanted to just use this opportunity to let the world know that Owari no Seraph exists, something like that. Then I also wanted a season 3 because the anime has not finished and we've not heard from them after they dropped season 2. So that kind of thing that I wanted to something like that, give credit to. Well, English is, I'm not trying to be too formal or anything, but the long story short, it's an underrated anime, and I wanted to shed more lights to it with my cosplay, you understand. So the outfits, it's somehow, if you noticed, if you've watched the anime, the outfit is actually like a gown with buttons, and the anime was kind of complicated. I'm sorry, I said the anime. The costume is actually complicated because I had to rewatch it how many times to understand how I would actually sew the costume. Though I didn't do it exactly the way it is, because I decided to go with a skirt and shirt because I feel it would be more coordinated, and it will look better if it's a shirt and a skirt than if it's a gown, you understand. And I purposely used zip because I wanted the collar to stand. Then after I zipped it, I placed buttons here, and I used, because there was a time that this Yu-chan, I've forgotten his name, the main character, his other brother that is a vampire, wanted to suck blood, that he unbuttoned this place, and that is actually that scene that made me understand how the anime, the uniform, the military uniform, I don't know the word to use, but it made me understand how I would make the costume. Then the hair, I used attachment as usual. And the back of Shinao, that's the girl I made, the girl I sorry, I'm a little bit uncomfortable when it comes to camera in front of people, but the girl Shinao, the cosplay I did, if you noticed, her hair was packed completely and braided. I don't know the word to use, like I don't know where the braid started and ended, but it's anime characters, for Christ's sake. It's very, very difficult to understand how they style the character. But when I did the hair exactly the way her hair is, the two was too puffy. Like, it made me look as if I had big head like this. I had my head popping out like this. So I had to bring some of the hair down, like a half ponytail, you know. I divided the hair into two, braided the upper part, then lowered the other part, made it short and stretched it and curled it. You understand? Then the main character, which is this girl Meso, dressed as the main character. Her hair, when I was doing her hair, the first thing that came to my mind is this girl's hair is giving more of Sasuke's hairstyle. No, you know Sasuke, his hair is pointing upwards than the kind character itself. But long story short, the spikes were quite difficult for me to make, but I pulled through by God's grace. Then the weapon, let me just, because I'm trying to make this video a short video, because many people complain that they don't like it when the video is more than 15 minutes, you understand? So let me just get straight to the side. So the side, this took me a very long time to figure out how I would construct it because of this place. This place, you see it in the picture, because I was trying to understand how. Not one thing with me, before I compromise when I'm doing cosplay, I try to see if it's possible to do it exactly the way it is in the anime. If it's not possible, then I compromise, but luckily I was able to do it exactly the way it is. So for the side, a majority of the props that I constructed at the event, sorry, for the Owari no Seraph cosplay, I used plywood as the, should I use the word, the skeleton or the base or the foundation of the cosplay. This is plywood, and you can get it here in Anambra State. They sell plywood 1,002 for a, I don't know the measurements they use, but it's 1,200, and it was enough for this stuff. Then I was trying to get oil paint, this exact color of oil paint, but it was very difficult for me to get it because I don't know, there's this color standard they normally use for oil paint. Like their yellow looks orange and their green looks somehow like dirty brown, and it wasn't giving. So I tried to use motion paint, emotion paint. For those of you that don't know what motion paint is the paint you use to paint your wall in the house, you know, the wall for buildings and stuff like that. That's what I used for this. Then this stuff, there was a time I was writing exam, sometime like last 3 months or last 4 months, I don't know, 4 months ago, something like that. And you know, in my school, they bought new equipment for engineering lab, like mostly chemical engineering, but some they got new computers, things that we need for practicals basically. And when they bought the whole things, when they set up the equipment or whatever they bought, the cartons and this foam you normally see in package, like when you buy fridge or TVs, all those things, all those kinds of appliances, this foam, this is the foam you see. I don't know the name of the foam, but if you know, you can let me know in the comment section. But this is the foam that I used for this. And the main reason why I went with this instead of carton or ever foam is because this foam is very, very light. If you've seen or touched this foam or carried this foam before, you know what I'm talking about. Ever foam with this width, this kind of thickness is more heavier than this. And carton, trust me, the weight of carton is out of this world. And I wanted it not like, I didn't want it to be heavy because of this place. I wanted to go with a weight that this place could, you know, handle. And for my props, most people, like now, you remember that hidden cosplay I did for my first Nerdwork Comic Con? This one is cotton rail iron. If you know that rod they put whenever you're putting curtains in your house, that iron rod, that's what I used for this one. And I wanted to use it for this because iron rod is lighter than pipe. Like if you carry pipe, this pipe is heavy compared to the iron rod, you understand. So I wanted to use that. But first of all, this weapon, if you've watched Owari no Seraph, this weapon, if I stand with it, it's supposed to be taller than me, like this. That is how big it is. And I considered transport carrying this big weapon, because that hidden weapon wasn't as big as this. It was easy for me to just put it under the seat of people, like under the chair. If you're traveling now, when they are packing the load, they just slid it under the seat of, and it reached the second to the last seat, the one directly at the back of the driver. But this is way bigger than that hidden side that I did 2 years ago, I mean 3 years ago, I don't know. And I was trying to, I was thinking, like, how do I make this work? How do I make this work? And something dropped in my mind. Why not make it detachable? Make the weapon into pieces. Do this side, do this side, do this side. And the only way this kind of thing would work, like to make the weapon detachable, is if I used pipe and used socket as my joints, something like that. So if you look at this, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'll try as much as possible to make it visible. The pipe went like this, and like this, as you can see. This pipe, there's one other pipe I want to show you guys. This pipe, if you attach it here, it's going to be very difficult for me, but I'll try my best. When you attach this here, sorry, it's this way, it's going to give you what you're seeing in this picture. Like, I don't know, I'm trying my best to explain this thing for you guys, but this pipe, these sockets you are seeing here, they call it 45-degree sockets. If you go to the market where they are selling pipes, sink, toilets, that seats for toilets, basically anything that a plumber would need, would need, go there, you tell them you want 45-degree socket. This is 90-degree socket. These two, they are both 90 degrees, and this is 45 degrees. Then this one is just your normal plain socket that I used. So that's what I used to make this detachable. And I also use it for my friend Mandy's cosplay. This stuff that she's carrying on her hand, the thing she's holding is a pipe, and I made use of the socket to attach it to the plywood. If you understand what I'm saying, you understand. Is there any other thing I have to say? Used to spray paint this whole place. Then for the arrow, this arrow and this bow that I used, yikes, this arrow, behave yourself, I used straw, and there is this thing they call bicycle spoke. I don't know, I've arranged my room and I've packed everything one side, so it is very difficult for me to find it now. But if you go to the market and you go to places where they are selling bicycle, or where they are repairing bicycle, and you tell them you want to buy bicycle spoke, it's like an iron that is very, very tiny. You understand? Like, when you're riding a bicycle, that tire, those tiny rods you see that attached and connects the center to the tire, that's what they call bicycle spoke. So that's what I used for the arrow, and I put it inside a straw because I wanted to initially use straw and broomstick to do the arrow, not the bow, the arrow. But when I used it, considering the length, it was bending, and I wanted it to be more sturdy, or be steady, whatever you want to call it. So I decided to use the bicycle spook because it's long and it's strong and it's iron, for Christ's sake. It will not bend compared to a broomstick. Then I used this foam, cut it, like gave it this triangular shape, glued. I made 2 pieces, glued it on top of this straw, you understand, to do the arrow. And I used emulsion paint for the top, and I used spray paint for the black part. Which other one? Then for the bow, Favor's bow, I don't know why people like calling this guy a gay guy, but that's how he used to behave with the anime, but he's not gay, you understand. For Favor's bow, it was difficult for me to draw, because this one, when I bought plywood, I drew the side how big I want it to be, and I carved it out of the plywood before I started putting this foam on it. But Favor's bow was giving me issues to draw. I don't know why, because I was making one side too big, one side too small. But luckily she was an architect, so that part was very easy for her to handle for me. And the same thing with Mandy's side. The base was plywood. But for Lizzie's own, this bow, I could not use plywood because it was too tiny. So what I did, shoe rack, that iron they normally use, I stole it from my best friend's room while he was packing now, and I'm sure his sister is probably looking for it now, not knowing that I stole it to do cosplay, but they will not know. He will probably not watch this video. The shoe rack, I bent it. I used padlock to hit it, to bend it, so it will give this arrow bow like shape. Then I use this foam to cover it, and this foam is actually very useful. Like there are times where I see some cosplayers here in Nigeria complain that Eva foam is very difficult to find here, and one thing with me, I always like to compromise. If I can't find it, when it comes to cosplay, one thing with me, if I can't find the exact material I need for a cosplay, there must be a replacement. It's Nigeria, for Christ's sake. We import almost everything. There must be a very good replacement that will get the job done. So this is a replacement for Eva foam, and it's actually way better in my opinion because it's easy to work with. Like if you carry a pocket knife, very, very easy to cut, very, very light, so you won't have to worry about carrying heavy stuffs, that kind of thing. Is a very good replacement. So one thing with me, I always find a way to get something done, you understand. Then if it's something like contact lens or those kind of things that I cannot make, because I cannot make contact lens, I will have to buy it and prepare ahead of time. Then for the Fire Force cosplay, the hand fan, I bought an already made hand fan from a store here. They call it Roban store, and I spray painted it. Then I used ribbon and glued it on it, and that's how I made the hand fan. Then for the wig attachment, per usual, the funniest part, her hair color and my hair color is the same thing. I was like, what kind of coincidence is it? Because she reached out to me, like, I think was it a month, no, 2 weeks before the event, and she was like, she wants to do a cosplay, and she mentioned a lot of characters that she would want to do. She mentioned Bush Shimon, Bush Amon, the one in Stray Gods, that girl with long hair and big knife. She mentioned Rukia, she mentioned Princess Hibana. And when I weighed the whole thing, I just thought I'd just go with Princess Hibana because there's not much time for me to start constructing Bushimo's sword. It's 2 weeks to the event. Long story short, it was easier for me to just do Princess Hibana than to do Bushimo. So I did Princess Hibana's cosplay. I bought four material. Princess Hibana, her coats, her Fire Force coat has for 2,500 per yard, and I don't know between 4 and leather, which is even more expensive in the market, but I hate working with this material because of the cost. Then the Fire Force, normally I use uniform to do most of my cosplay because it's cheap, it's a good material, the quality is good, the price is cheap, and is a friendly material to use for cosplay, anything cosplay, and most of the colors are available in uniform. But fortunately, Fire Force, the sky blue color wasn't available in uniform, and I showed the person, because there's a place I always go to buy anything material, and he showed me a material that he called Spider. I was like, what kind of name is that? But it's Spider that I used for this place, you understand. The blue material is Spider. Then the silver, I wanted to use ash for the normal uniform, ash color, but uniform didn't have this color of ash. And the material that I had, I forgot what the guy called it. It was too dull. And Fire Force, if you notice, their material used to shine. I don't know, maybe it's because it's the anime and they add extra stuff, like the way their eyes used to shine light, but in real life your eyes don't shine light, you understand? So I wanted it to be a bit more shiny, and I went for, what's the name again? Why do I keep forgetting the name of this material? I forgot it. This is the same material I used for my temari hand fan, and I'm forgetting the name of the material again. But I'll put the caption here. But that was the material I used, and I used for then the back. I just cut the cross, and I put it at the back. Sorry, my phone was overheating, so it kind of, I don't know, stopped the video that I was doing to cool down. I think where I stopped was the part where I talked about the white part of her clothes, and I used that same material. I keep forgetting the name of this material, but I'll write it down when I'm editing it. Then for her bead, I could not find gold bead, but I found something like that was close to gold. It was giving like the normal opaque bead. If you know what opaque is a material that is not transparent. I didn't find gold, the color gold, but the transparent ones I found it, and it was actually beautiful when I did it. When I went to the hotel, when I went to Port Harcourt, because I went there a day before the event, and the girl too came from Calabar, and she went there a day before the event. She met me at the hotel, and when she wore her wig, she was so happy. Like, I didn't record it because, you know, she was dressing up and I didn't want to capture breast for you people to see, you understand? But she was so happy, and I was so happy that she was happy. Like, you don't understand the joy. Like, even the last year's Comic Con, I made a cosplay for a guy. The guy is handsome, by the way. I have a crush on him, but he doesn't know, and I will not tell him. But long story short, he was so happy. Like, he even gave me money himself, and like an extra tip. It was not 10k he sent to me, and I was like, my crush is sending me money because he liked the cosplay. And the same thing with this girl, she bought me a burger as a gift, like thank you, and I was so happy that she loved the costume. When she wore the costume, and you know, people were like, oh my god, Princess Hibana. In my mind I was so happy. I'm like, look at my well, I was happy that she loved the costume, because when I made her costume, when she sent me her measurement, her body measurement, and I made it and I wore it, my pants, the back of my pants was showing, and I was panicking. Like, I thought that maybe I didn't cut the material well, or I made mistake, something like that. And I was so scared because I've never made a fitted clothes for someone before that is not here with me. Most of the costumes I make, they are always around, so I can always test it on them. And she's in Calabar, and I'm here in Anambra State. And when I got to PH, I saw one of my friends that I thought that had the same body size with her, and I told her to wear it, and she had the same issue. Her pants was showing, like it wasn't hugging her body well, and I was so scared. But when I now met her in person, I found out that she's actually tall, and when she wore it, it fitted her so well. And I'm like, oh thank you Jesus, oh thank you Jesus. I was panicking, but long story short, I was happy. I enjoyed the Nerdwork Comic Con, though I was scared. I didn't want to go on stage because I have serious stage fright. Like, when I'm around people that I don't know, I try my best to stay calm, because I don't like, I'm kind of anti-social. Most of the time I'm always in my room doing TikTok videos, making cosplay, reading my book for exam. If I go to school, come back, always on my own. I barely talk to people like that. I don't have much friends in real life, you understand? So I always like to be by myself. But I had fun at the Nerdwork Comic Con. I saw people that won LG TV, people that won free power banks, phones, a whole lot. Like, it was fun, and I'm happy to see the growth that Nerdwork has had. Like, each year there's always an improvement. Each year many people see what is going on, and more people, and I'm very sure more people want to come for the event. And if you missed this year's Comic Con, you can always attend the next one. So I think I saw Hisoka Bunny, Bella. Kami was so nice, though she wasn't feeling too well because of cold and everything, but I'm happy that she has finally recovered. Even Manja, I met Manja again. Also, when I went to there's one big supermarket, is it High Life or Be High, whatever they call it. I went there to buy something to eat and I saw Manja there, and I was like, this guy, you know what you're doing. But anyhow, he was fun to be with. We had a little chat, and let's just say it was a wonderful experience, and I got back home safely. And my mom, when my mom saw the cosplay, you know, my mom, she knows that I do cosplay stuff. She's aware of this anime thing that I do. When she saw the cosplay, the first thing that came to her mind is, this skirt is too short. She doesn't like it when my body is open when I do cosplay. But her favorite cosplay remains Shinobu. Anyways, sorry I took too much time. Even when I tried to cut a lot of things off, I still wasted time to explain the whole thing. For those of you that are new to my channel, I'm a Nigerian cosplayer, and anime content creator. Maybe you know me as Sasuke, side chick, hentai queen, cosplay queen, anime queen, whatever you know me as. And make sure please to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and give your feedback. I'm trying to take this YouTube thing seriously, understand? It is not easy at all, but I'm trying my best to understand. But just let me know if there's anything I'm supposed to have said, or if there's anything I'm missing, or if there's a way I can make the video a more enjoyable experience, if you understand what I'm saying. Just let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye. I said bye bye. Bye bye. Go.